Hi, my name is Nathan, and today we're going to do a comic book review of Something is Killing the Children, issue number 1, brought to you by Rated Comics. Let's get to it. In this book, we start off with these group of kids playing Truth or Dare, and James answers truth. And he tells the kids about a noise that he heard out in the ravine with a big moan. And when he turned the lights on, he saw that there was this thing that was just standing there as big as a tree, hissing and growling. And the kids are like, bullshit, we don't believe you. And this, right away, this book is beginning to remind me of like the Goonies mixed with It, R-rated version. This book is sick. So James ends with, okay, if you guys don't believe me, then truth. Meanwhile, we fast forward to James in the police interrogation room, telling the officer, the detective, that, like I told you, I didn't see anything. It was just a sleepover. But the thing is, this kid has blood on his shirt, and it's almost like he's in denial. And the detective was like, okay, then we just need to understand what happened. And James like, look, man, it wasn't real, I swear. I just heard them screaming. 2 weeks later, we see this girl in a wagon with this blonde, with this sick mask, with, wielding 2 blood-drenched machetes, and this blonde just chugs this water like crazy. And notice how this girl just has abnormally large eyes. Meanwhile, she gets a phone call, and the girl asked her, is it done? Are there more of them? And she tells this phone call, hey, I need about 16 hours in the shower and I'll be there. The blonde girl with the large eyes, the eyes just kind of stick out to me because they're abnormally large. She said, you know what? Let me get that shower because I stink. At school, James is confronted by these group of boys who are mourning in an aggressive way over their friend's death, about that Truth or Dare night. And James just had enough of it, tells him to, that. In the principal's office, I kind of like this principal. He's like, what should we do? And he's like, I guess you're supposed to call my dad. And the principal's like, you should have punched him in the face or something like that. I'm not advocating violence, but that kid was a pain. And this just kind of turns James like, what kind of principal are you? And he's like, look, it's kind of hard to deal with 9 dead kids in 2 weeks and more missing every day. Nobody knows the thing. The cameras, it's all the spotlights on off in the sheriffs when we return my calls. No one knows where to start with this whole thing. James leaves the office. Meanwhile, we see Erica staring at this octopus doll, and she looks at this poster full of missing kids. And the sheriff asks him, do you know one of them? And she's like, you could say that. So James is receiving a message on the phone with his dad telling him, well, it's not that important. Just get the book. He looks into the darkness of the woods. And then this girl, who we've later found out her name is Erica Slaughter, with the eyes just get to me. Those eyes are large. And she goes up to him and is like, you're James, right? And James is like, I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, are you going to hurt me? He's like, and she just said, you mind if I ask you a few questions? Are you from the police? And she's like, boy, do I look like I'm from the police? So she's like, look, I don't want to know what you told the cops. I want to know what you saw. I know you're scared, but no matter how ridiculous it is, I promise you, I swear on my heart, hope to die, I'm going to believe you. So Erica is very familiar with the situation. So James explains this flashback when in the dark, when he's in the woods and he sees Carl crawling. He's like, man, I can't scream my legs. And we see his intestines just dragging from behind. Okay, this book is insane, man. And James is like, dude, this ain't real. Got somebody help. This can't be real. And then he sees his other friend with Carl with a chunk bitten out of him and his face just gnarled up and bleeding and bloody. He's like, man, this cannot be real. No, no, no. And then we see this monster ripping Carl in half. I don't know if it sounds like the Hulk when he's ripping him in half, but he's ripping him in half. And Erica Slaughter's like, thank you. And she gets another phone call, and she tells that phone call, this is an E7, and this is classified as E7. I got it handled. And James is like, well, what do you mean you got it handled? And Erica tells you got a monster in those woods, and I'm here to say, I'm going to help. I'm going to kill it. And James is like, can I help? And that's where we end off with the end of the book. That's it for issue number 1. This book is something, and I hope this book is made into a series, a Netflix series, Amazon Prime. Pick it up. And I think I have the perfect actress in mind. I can't think of her name, but I know she's from The Witch. I'll put the picture up there. You see it? There you see it. As far as this book goes, very well worth it. I can see why many issues had to be printed with this. So with that being said, Something's Killing the Children, issue number 1. Comment below. Let me know what you thought of the comic. If you haven't gotten a copy of your comic, go ahead and get your copy with RatedComics.com. Link in description. If you like the content we're throwing up and the reviews and also the comic book related content, you know what to do. Thanks again for watching. Until next time.